got myself a new umbrella. I'm going outside. It's raining today, and I'm gonna go get some eggs. I got 0 complaints right now, as long as I'm not slipping on ice. This is fine with me. Fortunately, this is going to have a chance to melt without freezing, because we're supposed to have pretty warm days and nights for the rest of the week before it dips back down. Everybody's wet. I see, girls. You can see the girls have been taking advantage of it being warmer out, although they don't look good when they're soaked. But that is them deciding to walk around in the rain, because they could easily just stay in their coop and the little mini run underneath the coop all day. But they'll dry off and they'll be stuck overnight. They're not gonna get cold tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and sneak in here and grab these. You can see they're wet. That's just from opening it up, and a couple drops dripped off my umbrella. It's quite dry in there outside of that. Let me take these. Alright, let's just put these down. And then I'm gonna go bring some scratch out for the girls, because we've been out in the rain all day. I'll be honest, I've been inside all day. I didn't even realize it was raining, but what can you do? Our entire winter has been like this, where it was pretty warm, and then we'll get like a few days that are pretty cold, and we'll get snow, and then it melts. I think this is probably the longest warm stretch where it's melting. Although we aren't due for snow in the next week at least. Just sucks dealing with the temperature fluctuation. In past years it's been more stable, but if you haven't seen, yesterday I'm doing our garden planning. We already did a garden planning video. This is the second one that actually helps you figure out what you want to plant inside your garden, not necessarily where to put your garden. So I put that yesterday on YouTube, and next week we should have a video kegging our West Coast IPA, so that'll be nice. And trying it out. I'm excited for it because I've tried it straight out of the fermenter because we have a knob. Should be good. The only thing that's kind of funny about being out here is seeing our Golden Leaf Wyandottes, because they're like very fluffy. They're bred for the cold, but because of the rain has knocked down their feathers, but you could see that they're not like the biggest chickens. I mean, look at Meatball. Oh, poor thing. They'll dry off. They're gonna be just fine. I decided not to make the lean-to because we haven't been getting enough snow to make it worth it, but we don't have our tarps on the top like we did over the summer, so they're just taking in the rain, taking in it being warm. I mean, I'm just in a sweatshirt. It's probably like in the 40s today. So that's what's going on here. I'm gonna go in out of the rain. This is pretty bad, but I wanted to show you something. So you can see the puddling over there that goes to there. That's in this walkway. This is exactly what it did last spring. Exact same spots. I think what maybe a good investment is getting more mulch and like dumping it here for a walkway. But over here, you can see that's like several inches deep. That's like 5 or 6 inches deep right there. So investing in the raised beds, because this was all flat when we moved in, was a very good idea, because there's only minor pooling right there. Otherwise the mulch is doing okay and the beds are doing okay. We're trying to figure out what to do with this area. It'll fill in once the pawpaws get bigger. That's going to take some years. But not quite sure. This all floods because there's like no drainage in the soil. That's why we made the raised beds. But we're getting through. My hope is it drains off somewhere at least. It might be a bit icy in the morning, but it should continue to melt over the next few days. So we'll see what happens. So I'm over at the beer, and behind me we have 2 beers. So Greg liked the Galaxy Gardens IPA, I think is what we called it, so much he made another one. I don't know which one's in which. I want to say this one's the West Coast IPA, I could be wrong. But so we have both of those going, but check this out. I love the airlocks. Sometimes you'll see little bubbles coming up, and that's just the excess gas created by the yeast, which is pretty cool. So I'm not going to open these up, I'm not touching them, but we will be kegging the West Coast IPA, whichever one it is, so that'll be nice. And maybe making some cans. So we have a cannular here. I have no idea how to use it. From what I understand, he's had to like reset it every time. I have no idea. It's not, I don't think you have to plug it in or anything. I could be wrong. Basically, just put your can in there, and there's a top, and then you have, among other things. But that's pretty cool. I actually forgot to do this when I watered everything like 2 weeks ago, but I need to water my figs. Now, you don't need to water your dormant figs through the winter. It's honestly better for them to be more dry than not, but they do need some water, so I've been bottom watering them. And they're probably fine, like I guarantee you they're fine, but just for me, I'm gonna give them some water, and then maybe one more time in March, and then that should tide them over till we bring them out. But speaking of fruit trees, it's finally February, and I heeded the advice of other people who grow fruit trees to wait until late winter to do the pruning that we need to do. So I have like two or three different fruit tree books that tell you how to do the pruning, and they were helpful during the summer for like what you need to do when the flowers come in, when you harvest stuff. But there is just some branch training that we need to do at this time of year, just some pruning, because you want to have a nice shape of tree. When they come from the nursery, which like our pears and peaches and apples are from, they're usually like a couple to like a few years old and with a very specific shape. But you don't necessarily want to keep that. So we're going to clear out some branches. I'm probably going to do that towards the end of the month, but it is on the way, and I'll give you guys a tutorial and let you know what books I use too, in case you want to have, you know, something on hand for yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and bring these eggs in, but I hope you have a nice weekend, and I will be here watering stuff. I'll see you another time. Bye.